The Protectorate had lost. Charles II was king, and the restoration was now unconditional, reinforced by The Hague ultimately. Winds whistled around Leeds Castle as Cheney Culpeper drew up the letter he had been studying. He sighed as the reflections of this lapped amongst the flames of the fire. Edward Hyde, Earl of Clarendon, to whom they referred, led the campaign to restore royalty to the throne on the 29th of May, 1660.
Many a parliamentarian, like the Culpepers, were panicking quite a bit as they had backed the wrong horse. Land were removed from the royal opposition, and a new age begun with Oak Applelay and a new master in the form of an American businessman. For Leeds, the glorious revolution begun with an early historical industrial revolution.
It was last time on County Climbs that I took a look at how Leeds Castle was instrumental in seizing of the throne by Henry Bolingbroke and the downfall of Richard II.
Accused of witchcraft by her husband, the castle was given to the trust of the See of Canterbury. Shifts and allegiances resulting from these turnovers saw Agincourt in the inevitable death of the king as regent of France, even though it did him no good in furthering relations with the place. Now, having given birth to young Henry VI, Catherine of Valois held Leeds until her death in 1437, when Henry Tudor got his hands on it.
With a stronghold in the heart of England, Henry was more interested in his counting house than anything else.
After the conquest of Bosworth, divides were in affluence, and no one could be relied upon to adhere to their word. Everyone was to please the cousin monarch to such an extent that the oppressors split the inability in two. To counter this divide, Henry VIII found himself placed invidiously having to secure his crown by marrying his predecessor's daughter, and spending a lot of time accounting for lands gained, most prolifically advantageous of which was Leeds.
Taking the crown in his brother Arthur's stead, Henry VIII's main focus was the enjoyment of all that England offered.
He visited the castle frequently and made yet more modifications. Henry VIII was one for specific requirements. 1517, and the ill-fated marriage between our new king and Catherine Aragon made Leeds yet another part of the formula for disaster, as it would hear that many a conjugal visit was made. Floors with Spanish motifs and Spanish arms did little to change the outcome of this. 1552, and the castle was now given to Anthony St. Ledger, the Deputy of Ireland at this time. The gift might also have been a reflection of the fact that his son was a great friend of Edward VI, Henry's son.
1618 was an ill-fated year for the Ledger family. Not only did the latest incumbent of Leeds Castle, Warham St. Ledger, find himself forced to sell his property, a voyage to Guiana was undertaken by Sir Walter Raleigh and Wareham, but because he made the decision to attack a Spanish outpost on a previous escapade in 1603, the courtier found himself beheaded by James I.
Now, in a Jacobean style that was popular, this wondrous house was brought up in 1632 by Sir Thomas Culpeper. He found himself breathing a sigh of relief when the Civil War arrived. His son, Cheney, was an advocate of the parliamentary faction. Having been respected during the conflict, the Culpepers found themselves in a bad place when the Restoration arrived. They had to sell up. Though the Culpepers did manage to keep the place in the family, making a deal with the colonial relatives from Virginia in 1663.
It was unfortunate that the estate was empty because of this Atlantic entrepreneur, though because it was leased to be used as a prison during the Dutch Wars in 1665. Leeds then passed into a new family through marriage of Catherine Culpeper in 1690.
Lord Thomas Fairfax, to whom Catherine wed, had a son who became the sixth Lord. Born in 1745, this Fairfax sailed to establish further relations in the American colonies. Leeds went to his brother, Robert, who got a proper cartographer, one Thomas Hogben. to set down an evaluation of the estate. It was 1778, and Robert Fairfax received a visit from royalty in the form of King George III and his Queen. Loads of cash was spent on refurbishing the reception rooms, present a good visage. Robert died only 20 years later, and as a pauper in a nearby graveyard.
Some 30 years after Robert Fane's Wakeham Martin inherited the house, it was in a state. Time, neglect, and declining interest had necessitated Martin to demolish the building and replace it with a mock Tudor affair.
It was 1895, and his son, Charles Martin, came to the rescue with a large dowry in his pocket, acquired from his wife, turning Leeds into one of the largest estates in Kent. His wife, Lady Belle, did some nice restoration work in the 20s though. She turned what was the Great Hall into a much-needed library with help of a French architect, Armand Albert Retu.
He used an Art Deco style that was particularly popular at the time. 1974 was the year that Lady Belle died. She left behind her the grounds and the estate which is still the envy of the entertainment industry today. Religion and faith returned from the staples of human endeavour into a new formula.
The staples of the human soul. Although some might say it differently today. Leeds Castle became one of the forks in the road for developmental aspects. Henry Bolingbroke would have hated it. Probably.
I'm looking at Christchurch Mansion, or Priory, in Ipswich, examining how it evolved as a centre for retreat and religious endeavour. I look at how it evolved into one of the greatest centres for entrepreneurial endeavour that influenced the future British Empire. I also look at the way in which commercialism interacts with the state, and why the compatibility issues are so enormous. Christchurch exemplifies this in droves.
Right. Many a parliamentarian. No. Well, it's nice. Not really nice landscape. It's quite cool. I'm gonna do this fucking thing again. Oh, we're getting through these. It's really quite impressive, isn't it? Well, you've got to get out of the way of this bloody chunker train. It seems like I spent my entire life doing this. I don't know what to think at this point, because, like, I have got to go home. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to leave. It's just going to go. It's like, it's getting ridiculous. That's the last one. Here we go.
Beautiful.